Welcome to Racing and Previews with me, Mark Fanning. This is it, we're back. The 2023 turf season on the flat gets underway at the Curragh this Saturday, i.e. tomorrow, depending on when you're listening to this. But I'm excited. We have a lull after Cheltenham, but this is definitely the tonic we need to pick us back up. I'm excited for the flat season every year. We get to see new 2-year-olds, we get to see the 3-year-olds, what they do, and we get to see the older horses too. So I'm very much looking forward to the Curragh. I'm hoping to get up there, and we have a very stacked 8-race card getting underway at 140. Of course, we kick it off with the first 2-year-old race of the season. We've got 11 runners lined up here over 5 furlongs. Again, we know nothing about these at this time of the year, so we can just go by maybe looks or price guides, but two that catch my eye. The first one is going to be probably prominent in the betting, Prince XJ for the Michael O'Callaghan Colin Keane combination. A son by Memis, out of a winning mare. Michael O'Callaghan is kind of the man to go to now with 2-year-old races, and I expect him to have Prince XJ tuned and ready, so he could be one at the top of the market. I like, of course, Colin Keane booked for the ride. That's always a positive champion jockey. And yeah, I would definitely, I'd like to see him in the paddock to see how they behave, especially being a colt. But Prince XJ for me gets my vote in the win market. One that I think could run well at a price. Just I find this interesting that this son of Curragh Glory has been gelded already. Very unusual. So must have shown ability, but just maybe acting a bit of a lad. So the fact he's being gelded means hopefully that will solve them problems. Out of a winning mare over the distance, she was very quick mare, Sweet as Taboo. William McCreary trained the mother, and of course he trains this lad. Billy Lee taking the right here, of course, runner up in the championship last year. So two top jockeys I think might get off to a flyer here. Charles Atlas, definitely one for the each way play for me. That brings us to the second race on the card. This is over 5, but it's a handicap for 3-year-olds plus. Harry's Hill is in off a very low weight with that young Michael Hassett taking £10 off of 8-7. It's going to be in off a featherweight, one over the course and distance. But I'm going to go with one here. I'd imagine should be a bit of a price. We tipped this lad last year to run well in some of the big handicaps in England. Makes his first start for the Jessica Harrington Yard Hurricane Ivor. Group 3 winner, lost his way a bit. Still has been running okay in those big field handicaps. And I think with a change of scenery, Shane Foley in the saddle has a nice drawing off for. But the ground will like the ground. I think maybe if it freshens up here, he's definitely the class of the race. Definitely Hurricane Ivor for me each way in the second race. That brings us to the third race on the card. It's a 7 furlong Fillies Maiden. This is for 3-year-olds plus, and some of these have run already. I'm going to go with one here. I was actually in Leopardstown when I seen this daughter, Deep Impact, making her debut. I thought she was definitely the one to take out a notebook that day. So bold as love for the Donegal O'Brien stable with Gavin Ryan in the saddle, of course, from the Nearcos family. But I just thought that day, the winner that day already had a run at Dormant, well trained. The winner was well supported on the day, so finished second to a very good one. I remember thinking that day, that's definitely one for the notebook. Bold as love, interesting to see, comes out on the first day of the season. For me, could be a bit of a price. I think Water Nymph might be favoured from the Aidan O'Brien's yard. But for me, Bold as Love gets my vote here in the third race. That brings us to, I suppose, what you call, it's definitely the feature race of day one. Even though it's a handicap, it's a Premier handicap. It's the Irish Lincolnshire. It's the first Premier handicap of the season. It's a race definitely that takes a bit of winning. For me, in the last few years, I think 4-year-olds are seen to be the key here. We've got 27 runners lining up. We've got 3 reserves, with 27 max go to post. The last couple of years has been won by a couple of well-supported 4-year-olds. I like one at a massive price here, Joe Massaceria. For no meat, Lee Roach takes the ride. In off a nice weight, ticks the box being a 4-year-old. Off at 8-11, the draw is the only concern. Is going to love the ground. This lad at 33-1. I can see him outrunning these odds here, 33-1. The one I would like in the win market would be Totally Charming for George Bowie. I remember this lad winning one of the big handicaps on Derby weekend at Epsom. I said this lad has a bit more in the tank. Ran a bit lacklustre in the Cambridgeshire, but then was seen to full effect again when winning at the back end of last season. There's still more to come from this 5-year-old. Colin Keane takes the ride, very eye-catching jockey booking. So for me, my two that I would like in the Lincolnshire would be Totally Chairman in the win market and Joe Massaceria in the each way market for Noah Mead. The last race I'm going to take a look on of the opening day of the Curragh is the Park Express Stakes. This is for fillies and mares over. It's Group 3 over a mile. I'm going to go with one here at a bit of a price. I hope it's going to be a bit of a price. I haven't seen the markets yet. There hasn't been a market made up yet. But Insuendo for Willie McCreary and Billy Lee, definitely knocking on the door in some of these big races. Has been running super well. Loves the track. I think the ground, if it gets too deep, that's the only concern. But I don't think she minds getting her toe in. She's been threatening to win a big one. And I think in Group 3 company, Delightful could be the one for the Aidan O'Brien yard. In off a nice low weight. A 3-year-old by Galileo with Wayne Lorden taking the ride. But for me, I'm going to go with Insinuendo each way in the Park Express Stakes. I actually lied. The last race I'm going to take a look at then is going to be, it's a maiden over 7 furlongs. It's for 3-year-olds plus. But I like one here down the bottom. Shane Cross takes the ride. He's only ride on the card. I find that very interesting for Joseph O'Brien. Shadow. This gelding by Caravaggio has some nice runs, notably finishing second to the horse of Aidan O'Brien's that went on and won the Group 1 at the back, the Fitzgerald Stakes last year. So for me, I think bringing that form here is super strong. Is going to take the beating here. So for me, I'm going to go with Shadowed in the 6th race. That's all the races I'm going to preview for day 1. Hopefully we get some nice price winners on the day. I think we've got some nice east-west selections that we might throw in a bit of a lucky 15, just a bit of a fun bet to get us going. We're going to see the 2-year-olds, what they're going to be like, what trainers are going to have those horses forward. I'd expect Michael O'Callaghan's will always be forward. So for me, that's why I'm going with the selection in the first. But I just think we're back. The flat is back. It's in the title. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to do next week or the week after, I'm going to do a preview of the full flat season ahead, what horses I'm most looking forward to, a couple of jockeys to follow, up and coming jockeys, trainers to follow and stuff like that. But for me, it's all about the Curragh Saturday to get us off the ground, and hopefully we bang in 1 or 2 nice price winners. And of course, all races by sports are paying money back if second to the SPFAV as a free bet. In the Lincolnshire, the handicap, the feature race, they're paying 6 places, so that's going to stand us in good stead for our each way selection at a massive price. And the final 2 handicaps, they're paying 5 places in both of those handicaps. Of course, all subject to how many run in the race, but head over to the Buy Sports website to check out all the offers. Again, guys, appreciate the support. Hit the like, hit the share button, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Cheers, guys.